Hey, Bill Lethman here. In this video, I'm going to be doing a quick walkthrough of the eMoney client portal that you get with your financial plan and showing you all the different things that you can do here, how to find the information and the reports, and what are some of the capabilities of this software. So you'll have access to this not only for the term of our engagement, which is usually 12 months, but also well beyond that. You'll essentially have access to it as long as we're continuing to use the software. I've been using it since 2009. I don't have any plans to change to another platform. So more than likely, you'll have access to this for quite some time. If you ever lose your access, you get logged out, you forgot your password, need a reset, or don't remember how to log in, just reach out to our office anytime. We'll help you get back into it. So when you first log in, you're going to basically see a page that looks something like this. This is one of our hypothetical clients here, Stephen Kelly, and some of their numbers. Your numbers, of course, will look much different than this. But really from the home page here, you can change some of these boxes around, kind of get it where you want to be. There's some great budgeting tools that are part of this as well, and you can see that right here in the spending category right here. One of the things you'll see here are going to be some of your accounts, and you can expand on some of these different drop downs right here and see all the different things that are in that particular category. Stephen Kelly, we kept their plan because it was hypothetical, pretty simple, so they just have a few accounts here, but like on the Tax Advantage, I guess they have a lot more accounts. But if you ever want to link an account to the platform, you can do that very easily just by following that link right here, and you can set it up with a connection where essentially every day in the middle of the night it's going to go out and it's going to grab all of the balances and positions from those accounts, including the cost basis, which is actually very valuable to have. And it's very safe and secure. eMoney is actually owned by Fidelity, just to kind of give you an idea of the caliber of company. It's basically a read-only. There's no transactions, no movement of money that's possible, no account numbers are visible. And if you feel comfortable in doing that, I think it's a great thing to have all of those accounts linked up there together. I would say it's probably about 50-50. Some clients do it, some clients don't, and that's really completely up to you. You can always update those balances and positions manually if you want to do that. Kind of across the top, we have a little bit of a menu here. The organizer is where you're going to see a lot of your information and be able to edit that. So if you go into accounts, for example, and you want to do a manual update on something, you can simply choose an account and say, my money market balance has changed and I want to change that amount. You can come in here and just very easily do it. Yeah, there's the edit button up there. They moved it on me there. So you can just change the balance if you want to do that. And very easy to do. Over on the organizer as well, you're going to see a couple categories for expenses. And so this is something that a lot of clients really like to dive into and really map out a lot of different details regarding their expenses, things that are coming up. Maybe they're planning a big trip in a couple of years. You can put all that in here. But income, expenses, and savings, those expenses, and I just lumped everything into a lifestyle expense here for a single number there. But if you wanted to break that down and say how much is due to your cars and transportation, how much of that's for travel, how much of that's for groceries, your cable bills and Hulu subscriptions and things like that. You can be as detailed as you want here with it. Sometimes I caution people about getting too detailed on that because the longer the list is, the harder it is to kind of find things. And sometimes you can double up on expenses by calling something vacations and then having another category that's called travel. And if it's a huge long list, it may be hard to pick that out, but you can change and update that. Keep in mind though, you are updating the live plan. So when you change things right here, there's not an easy button to go back and change things back to the way they were when we maybe had our last meeting or before you started making those changes. So it is all real time and changing those in the live financial plan and everything. But if you wanted to change your savings rates and contributions, you can do that as well. The other part of the expenses and that income, expenses, and savings, those are going to be for expenses that you have every single year. So they're not going to change. So those are going to be more or less your fixed expenses, and they are going to all be indexed to inflation. But something called future goals is where you can have an expense and say, what a lot of people might do is say for the first 5 years or 10 years of retirement, we're going to spend more money on travel. So then you would maybe put that in there and say, we're going to have higher expenses, $20,000 a year, let's say from 2026 to 2036, and it's going to just have those expenses for that 10-year period. Then you might say, we're going to do a big anniversary trip or a big party, or we're going to help our grandkids out with something, whatever it may be. You can put those in as even a one-off, one-year expense too, and that's going to change your cash flow. And like we talk about in other videos and in the planning, is that cash flow is going to really be determining how much money you need to take out of the investment account. So if you know there's a big purchase or a wedding that's coming up or whatever it may be, you can put that in there, and then that's going to start to give you that forward-looking idea of what's going to need to come out of the portfolio in that future year, and then make sure that's not pushing you up into a higher tax bracket, because that money needs to come out of an IRA account or something like that. If you're not yet retired, you can change your retirement date, add education expenses, and these are some of those other expenses. More than likely, if you've already had your plan meeting, we've already got some of these built in here, and you can change them if you need to, but things like Medicare, those are things that most people are going to have inside their plan. So on the reports tab here, you come over here. The first one's going to be that balance sheet, because I have it saved as one of the favorites, but you can scroll down and you can see all of the different reports that are available inside the plan. We tend to really focus about 80% of our time on about 6 or 8, 10 different reports, but some of the ones that are probably most popular for us, the cash flow report is everybody's plan. That's the centerpiece of the entire financial planning program, and it's going to be the income coming in, the income expenses going out, what that net cash flow looks like. This plan here in particular, they had some pretty high assets there, a little bit over $6 million. Some of our clients have $20 or $30 million in this. Some of our clients have $1 or $2 million. It's all going to be, obviously your plan and whatever that is. So we can see what those negative cash flows are, so we can start to plan on where those distributions are going to come from. Something called detailed withdrawals is another report that's part of the cash flow, and that's going to tell us what the breakdown is of where that money is coming from. So we know we had a cash flow gap of $285,000 in the first year, so it's going to show where that's coming from. In this case, it's coming from the joint brokerage account, and we can see that in future years when that money runs out, or when there's required minimum distributions, it's going to show that maybe coming from a traditional IRA account. Or again, if we've already had some of those planning meetings, maybe we've structured this out in a certain way to minimize taxes or to really optimize the plan. And so we might have put in some plan distributions that are coming out of accounts, and that would all be listed right here. We could also see what the withdrawal percentage is every year, and then we can kind of scroll through this 5 years at a time and see what those withdrawal rates are. One of the things may be making sure that you're under that 4% rule, so you're not taking out too much money. It's okay to maybe go over that in a couple of years here and there. A lot of people, because they have bigger gaps early in the plan, tend to have some bigger cash flow gaps early on and maybe exceed that 4% rule, but you just want to make sure it's sort of normalizing out. If your whole plan is showing 5 or 6%, that's something that you're going to want to address. And again, if we're having our planning meetings, you're going to work on that with us on that, and we're going to help you to get that number under that 4%, however we can do that. So, and again, if you're still under your engagement, you have those office hours that are available to you. So every week we set up office hours that you can meet with our team. They're 15-minute time blocks that you can hop on, help you to understand some of the reports, make some changes, understand scenarios, plan out new scenarios. 15 minutes may not sound like a lot of time, but we're very efficient with the software, and we can do a lot in that time. And you can schedule them every single week if you want to, and some people do it every single week. Some other reports that we like here, we like the assets by tax type report. So that's going to give us an idea of what's happening to those 3 buckets: the non-retirement, the traditional, and the Roth bucket. And this is before we've done some optimization. So I just recorded a video earlier with these same hypothetical people where we worked on some strategies to get to that 0% long-term capital gain tax as they were withdrawing some of the money from their non-retirement account. And then we did some Roth conversion, so that looks a lot better. But you can see where what that looks like going forward and where those buckets are. The other thing I skipped over on the cash flow report, and especially as you work with this maybe after our engagement and stuff like that, you make updates, and maybe that traditional IRA account is growing faster than you thought it was, or faster than we put in the plan. We can see what that required minimum distribution is going to be from those accounts. And so it's either going to be at age 73 if you were born before 1960, or if you're born 1960 or later, it's going to be at age 75, and that's when those RMDs are going to kick in, and so you can see what that looks like there. The other one, I'm just not going to go through all of these, but the other one that I really like is going to be the tax planning. And there's a lot of detail there. Gosh, there's a lot of reports. And okay, so there it is. It's the income tax report, and we can see what's happening visually with your taxes over time. A lot of people, before we start working on the optimization, have some of these low tax years, and we can see that. Again, what we try to do with the optimization is smooth that taxable income out over time by doing Roth conversions or structuring out how we take the withdrawals, so that gets a little bit better there. But you can see what that looks like. And then if you put in a big expense one year because you're buying a big sailboat and you're taking $300,000, $400,000 out of your retirement account, you can see what that's doing to your taxes. You can see exactly what that looks like. And you may want to structure that where we just had a client that did this exact same thing. It was with a car, very high-end car, and we structured out a distribution over a 2-year period so that it kept them from going sky high one year and then not as high the next year, so we could get the money out to buy that car. So those are kind of the things you want to look at. In the federal income tax column right here, you can see a lot more detail as to what's going on within your tax situation. If there was any net investment income tax, for example, that was triggered by selling investment assets, you can see what that looks like. Right down into your state income taxes as well is in here too. But you can see what that adjusted gross income looks like every year. That's going to be important for things like determining your IRMA, and that's going to be triggered to modified adjusted gross income. But the starting place for all of these modified adjusted gross income calculations always start from adjusted gross income plus some other things. Sometimes they add back in tax-free interest. Sometimes they add back in foreign unearned income or untaxed income, I should say. Sometimes they add back in your non-taxable Social Security. And there's about 3 or 4 different ways to calculate that modified adjusted gross income, but you can use that as a good starting point there. And to go back here, and we can look at other income taxes, and that's where your state taxes are going to be too. So if you live in a state like Michigan that does have an income tax, that's going to be calculated here, and we can even click into that and get the details of how they're doing that. So Michigan, for example, gives you a certain amount of income that's not retirement income that's not taxable on the Michigan tax return that is taxable on the federal tax return. Other states obviously don't have any income tax, or they may have different rules, or rules like California where if you're over $1 million, there's some extra taxes that kick in. That's all going to be calculated here pretty accurately. And as we're doing the planning, we can change that state. So you may live in Michigan right now, but you may plan in a few years to move to Florida, which is a no-tax state, or Tennessee or Texas or one of the other states that don't have an income tax. So we can schedule that out and say, okay, beginning in 2028, you're now going to be in Florida, and those state taxes will go away. By the way, even if you're not on our current engagement, if you end up moving to a different state, that's something we need to change on our end. Just send us an email. We'll change your state for you if you end up in that situation. You don't need to come back and do a whole new plan to do that there. So, but there's a lot of detail, a lot of things you can do. Again, we don't have it set up right here, but you can set up a budget, and you can, if you link your credit cards and bank accounts and things like that, it'll start to categorize expenses similar to like a Quicken or Mint.com. I think bought Quicken, but there's some other budget tools that are out there. This one's pretty good. I think it's definitely above average. Some people, depending on what you like, might like others better, but I found this to be pretty good and very helpful on this. There's also an investments tab. That's going to be a lot more helpful if you do have the linking of that. So it'll start to categorize your different investments. So it'll categorize them into not only stocks, bonds, and cash, but also things like value stocks versus growth stocks, or large companies versus small companies, emerging markets, international. And so you can see what that pie chart looks like. So if you're trying to, hey, I need to increase my international exposure because I think that's going to go well. Well, how much international exposure do you have right now? Well, sometimes that can be challenging if you have your money spread across a dozen or even a dozen and a half or 2 dozen different accounts. So this will bring it all together and give you that ability to do that. The vault is kind of like a Dropbox. There's things you can put in there that you can keep private that we would not even be able to see here on our end, or you could put things in there that you want to share with us. And it's a way that you can share things securely with us if you're trying to upload a text document or something like that you don't want to send through email. We can also set up encrypted email chains as well for that, because we don't ever want to send that personal identifying information, especially if it's got your account numbers or social security numbers. We don't want to send that through an email there. We want to keep that secure, and this vault is a nice way to do that there. And then there's a couple other things here. Lots of tools and things that you can plan out. You can change some of your retirement goals, look at what the outputs of some of those things are, and everything's going to be unique, obviously, to your individual situation. So anyway, check all that out. Reach out to our office if you have any questions. If you're not a client yet, you can learn more about the financial planning that we do, which would give you access to this. And then when we're having our one-on-one sessions, we can hop into a lot more detail and run those scenarios and compare scenarios versus each other, run what-if scenarios, things like that, all inside those planning sessions that we're going to have. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.